All right, so in this video, I want to show you exactly this one boring business model that I currently do that makes me anywhere from 4 to 5K every singular week at only 20 years old, right? And I want to show you this model. And if you know anything about my past and things I've tried in the past and the whole journey of me being in this online business space, maybe you've watched other of my videos and you know, but if you're new here, you don't exactly know. I've been someone who's most likely right now in your shoes. Maybe you're trying business models, maybe you're stuck at something that's not giving you the revenue you kind of want, right? I've been there for a lot of time. I didn't just pop up all of a sudden and start making this money, right? That's kind of what I want to be able to show you because I know from all the things that I tried, and I've tried a lot of things and I spent a lot of time doing things that I shouldn't be doing. I want to be able to show you exactly what I do and how it worked for me and how you can actually get started, right? So again, I want to be able to show you how I make this kind of revenue with anywhere from 4 to 5K a week at 20 years old without managing deliverables for 30 clients at the same time. I remember when I used to do some other things, I used to do a lot of client deliverables, and maybe that's you as well. You have an agency or anything like that without wasting my time with the oversaturated business models. Trust me, I've been there before. Maybe you've probably been there as well, trying things that are completely just to the point that are oversaturated that it's super hard to even get a response to its outreach or even get a for sale or get whatever it is, right? The business model is it's super hard, right? And without building my own course, simply because I do not have a course, right? And here's some proof about the revenue and stuff like that I've been able to make. Obviously, I have different kind of payment processes, but just to kind of show you, this is my Stripe. We have a 9K week here. We have in 4 weeks to 12.6K. Obviously, it's Canadian because I'm in Canada, but just to show you kind of some proof. And like I said, I do have other payment processes as well, right? So over the next 20 minutes, I'm basically going to break down exactly how I'm doing this and how you, after watching this video, if you actually implement it, you're going to be able to literally copy the entire playbook, plug it in here for yourself, and start grabbing your piece of the, if you want, booming online business space where everybody's making a bunch of money and stuff like that, right? And the best part, this is actually a perfect fit for you if you're watching this video and maybe you're in sales, right? I'm actually speaking to people who have some kind of sort of experience in online business, right? It's going to be more relatable to you. So a perfect example is that is if you're in sales. I was there myself as well. Maybe a closer set or maybe stuck in an offer that's not making a bunch of money. Or you're stuck, working yourself off, cold calling, stuff like that. And you want to be able to finally build your own thing and have your own business instead of just not working for somebody else, right? You tried or even made a little money with the business model, but nothing significant or consistent. Whatever business model you tried could be really legit anything. If you tried it and it didn't work, or you maybe made it one client or you just made a couple sales and it didn't actually make you that kind of full-time revenue you want, or you're kind of being a commoditized agency owner, right? I'm taking to also people who have clients, maybe clients on retainers who are working very hard for their clients. They're not getting rewarded for it, stuff like that, right? Um, Now, before we dive in, here's exactly what we're going to be covering in this quick training if you want, right? The phase one is going to be spotting where the money is flowing right now. So you can basically just position yourself correctly. And like I said for myself, build a 4 to 5K per week online business in even more, right? Like I said, I showed you before, I had a 9K week before. So it's definitely possible. That's the phase one. Then the phase two, I'm going to be able to show you how to actually capitalize on this booming industry using a simple model that I called info offer consulting, right? And maybe that kind of business model name is giving you some ideas on exactly what it is. I'm going to be able to show you in detail what it actually is and how it's different from maybe some things that you've heard about in the past, right? In the phase three, I'm basically going to show you a proven roadmap to go from zero that you probably are right now, or maybe you're at even less than that, to 10 to even 20K months using the step-by-step untapped consulting model. So that's exactly what I'm going to be able to show you. And the keyword here, untapped, and you're going to learn exactly why that is in the video as well, right? So the phase one, like I said, spotting where the money is flowing right now. So if you want to make real money online and finally stop with maybe you're dealing with low ticket clients that maybe drawing your time. I know I was when I had my agency and I was working with clients and I was basically paid nothing and doing a bunch of work, right? Being stuck in a business model that has kind of zero scalability, so you can actually not scale, you can get more clients as easy and stuff like that. Maybe that's you. Competing in saturated markets where everybody looks the same. This is a huge problem for a lot of these business models that are advertised. Being a copywriter, being a freelancer for something specifically, like all these kind of business models, unfortunately, are very saturated. And I can be the first one to tell you because I've tried it not only myself, but also for that I see it from my own eyes. I have an account on Instagram, and let's say you're a copywriter, right? I have like not even that much followers on Instagram, and still get DM'd and outreach every single day for someone to be my copywriter when clearly I don't need a copywriter, which is crazy, right? Then you need to position yourself where the money is already flowing if you don't want to stop dealing with those things, right? So think of it like this: you don't actually make money by digging random holes. Like, let's say you want to be able to make money, you don't just dig random holes and trying to find where it is, right? You make money by finding where the gold already is, then bring a shovel. You know it's already there, you have the shovel, the only thing you have to do is dig. So you have to put in the work to be able to get the money. That's what I'm trying to say, right? And right now the money is flowing into the online education space. If you didn't know, all the people that you see with Lambos and everything like that online, they're all doing the same thing, right? I think we both know this, that they're all selling coaching courses and stuff like that, right? We both know this, but that's exactly where all the money is, unfortunately, or fortunately for some as well, online business, online education space, right? And I say unfortunately because some people take advantage of it not correctly. But again, the majority do, do this correctly, and it's important to do so, or else the whole industry is going to collapse, right? And if you don't believe me, or if you don't understand what I'm talking about, all you have to do is open up TikTok or Instagram to see it, right? And basically, when you're going to scroll, every creator that you see, every piece of content, whatever, it's basically just creators and niche experts, so people who are really really good at what they do, selling some kind of coaching or mentorship offer, right? And you'll see a bunch of different kind of ranges. The biggest ones you'll see, and the ones that make most amount of money, is obviously pitching you to be able to make money online. Those are obviously the biggest ones, like dropshipping, SMA, stuff like that. But you can find pretty much anything, right? And you don't know this, but a filmmaker, let's say, teaching videographers how to land high paying clients, there's someone out there doing that specific offer, making 200, 300K a month. You don't even know them, most likely, right? So it's just to say that every kind of offer can be very very good. I know you probably just see the ones that are like make money online, but there's a bunch of different ones, right? And I personally help a bunch of different ones. um, Maybe it's a dating coach helping men become more confident and land better relationships, a drop shipping mentor showing beginners how to build a 10K a month store. Different niches, but the overall idea is the same. It's information, it's time, it's help, right? That's all what they are doing. And at the car, like I said, they're all doing this. They're monetizing one single skill, one transformation, or one piece of knowledge by turning it into a coaching program, or what we call an info business, because it's information, right? And obviously I'm not going to go through the exact stats, but it's just a whole, it's a huge market, right? And that's exactly the, if you want, gold rush, I call it like that, we're in right now, and it's only getting bigger. Like, a lot more people are getting to in this space and making a bunch of money, yes, but also getting to know about this space, and that are maybe realizing that whatever they know could be turned into one of these businesses that are super super profitable, right? So the real question is, with that, what I want to get to is that, how do you actually position yourself in this booming educational industry? Because we all know that's how everybody else makes their money. So instead of just like watching other people make a bunch of money, how do you actually get involved? If anything, that was my thought process when I came across this and what I was seeing. Because like it is like, and you can maybe relate to this, you see this every single day on your feed, right? When you go scroll on Instagram, you see everybody and stuff like that. You see it every day, right? So it's not like it doesn't exist. But anyways, so there's three types of people in this market. The first one is the info business owners. So these are the experts already established, are selling their knowledge, right? This could be the gurus, if you want to call them, whatever. The second is the info buyers, so the people paying their coaching to be able to learn from them. Okay. And then the third is the aspiring creators, experts, if you want, people with maybe small audiences or really, really deep skill, trying to launch their first info product because they know how much money they can make, or they know how valuable they are to the marketplace, right? So let's break this down now, right? You probably can't be the first type of person, an info business owner, because again, you're not an expert at anything. You haven't really achieved, not to be mean or anything, but you probably haven't achieved anything great enough to be able to sell something, right? Any specific skill or niche, right? And otherwise, if you do that, you just be scamming people and slime, right? Which is not what we want. That's going to run your business to the ground in a second, right? A second, you could be the second type, right? Be an info buyer. But let's be real. Buying more info and more coaching, more coaches won't make you money unless you know what to do with it, right? Unless you put in the actual effort and stuff like that, right? You've probably tried this, all those business models. I've tried them myself, right? And you're not the third either, right? You likely don't have a small audience or a clear skill that's worth packaging and putting into an info business if you want. But here's the opportunity, right? You can actually become the right hand to the third group, right? The aspiring info business creators and experts, right? People with micro audiences. And when I say micro audiences, I'm talking even someone who has 1,000 followers. If you know a friend that's really, really good at something, has 2,000 followers, 1,000 followers, really good at what they do, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It could be literally anyone. This is what's great, is that the market is huge, right? The industry is getting huge. A lot of people are getting into it, but the market of people who can actually do it is huge as well, right? So it's people with micro audiences, like I said, with one expertise who have no clue how to actually turn it into a scalable coaching offer. How can they actually turn it into something that makes them a bunch of money? And this is one thing with these kind of people as well. Not only do they want to be able to turn into a have their own coaching program or course, a lot of people don't even know they can make money with their skill, right? And this is also something you can look into, right? And that's exactly how I personally got started, right? So let me just quickly do you a little background story. So not so long ago, I was kind of in a similar position to you. Maybe you've tried some business models. Maybe you're like I said, I was working at a warehouse job, right? It was a 9 to 5. Maybe you're like that. I was also in school not too long ago and stuff like that, right? So I was probably maybe in the same position as you right now. I've pretty much done them all, tried all the business models. I did my 9 to 5. I did my school, whatever position you kind of are in right now. I was probably there, right? So I tried some business models, right? SMMA, dropshipping, drop servicing, all of them, right? Made a little bit of money with some, gained some knowledge, right? I'm actually happy I tried them all, because I think that's what developed all the skills that I have for this one, the persistence and stuff like that. So I am grateful on that matter, but just trying to say that for the past years I've been very stuck and tried a bunch of things that didn't work out, right? I also decided to start my own marketing agency while working my 9 to 5, a typical SMMA, right? And obviously I found Imangati and did his thing and stuff like that. So that's kind of where it started off, right? Like a lot of people most likely. And at first, while this was still, having my 9 to 5 and stuff like that, at first it felt like I was kind of on the right path. But here's actually what happened with this kind of agency that I had, which wasn't super successful, but I had a few clients and was managing for a bit, right? The first thing was that there was super low profit margin, which made it almost impossible to scale, right? The second was that it still felt like I had a boss. The people that were my clients, if you were, I was basically going to employ. Like I was basically just like a freelancer. I wasn't. I didn't have a high perceived value and stuff like that, right? And it wasn't just like one boss, it was just like a few clients being able to tell me what I have to do and stuff like that, which I didn't really like, right? I was constantly burnt out because it was a lot of work, right? I was working nights, weekends, doing cold outreach and stuff like that, because you get one client and you still have to do a bunch of cold outreach and etc., right? I spent pretty much all day trying to have an actual good delivery and results, even if I couldn't control it. That's the problem as well. They want you to get those super good results because you have to promise it, and you can like, yeah, I'm sure I can get you those kind of results with the ads. But at the end of the day, it depends on so many factors, like their business, like a bunch of things, right? That you can't even control if you wanted to, right? So that really sucks when you're putting all your effort and it's not even working, right? Because of the business, not because of you. You don't know how to do it, right? And deep down, I basically realized, like I said, I was like a glorified freelancer, if you want, with more stress and less freedom, right? Which is obviously not what I wanted. And that's exactly when I started paying attention to what was basically happening on the sidelines, right? I saw a wave of experts launching their own info products and coaching offers. And then I realized how different the game was. When you look at an info business, how profitable it actually is and why everybody's doing it, it makes complete sense why so many people are getting into it. And so why so many people are selling their own course or program, whatever it is, right? First of all, it's low overhead. It's super high profit margins. We're talking about 80 to 90% profit margins, sometimes even more, which is crazy. Trying to think about another business in the world that has those kind of profit margins. It's super rare, right? And you can sell high ticket prices. You're not just selling something for $50. You can sell something for $4, 5, $6,000, which is crazy, even more. There's no physical product or huge team. You don't have really any staff to pay. There's no actual physical product. You don't have to have a store. You don't have to pay for anything physical. That's the huge advantage, right? And there's massive demand for people wanting to have a real world knowledge, right? So there is a lot of demand for it. People want to learn online. People want to pay someone that's really good at what they do, right? They prefer paying someone online who's really good and that exactly want to work with them, rather than the someone down the street who's okay at what they do, right? That's the reality of it, right? But there was just one problem though. I wasn't an expert. I wasn't good at anything. I had a marketing agency, but not enough to be able to sell the course from it. So I couldn't sell info if you want myself. But that's when it clicked. I noticed of tons of, I call them mini creators, just people who are really, really good at what they do, but they're not selling anything yet, right? People, again, with people with small audiences, real expertise, not people who are going to scam someone, but people who are actually really, really talented at what they do, right? And you can see this, right? Who had basically no idea how to package it into a scalable offer and how to be able to make money, right? A lot of people don't even know they can make money with their skill, which is crazy to think, right? So that's basically where I stepped in, right? I studied some of the best creators and if you want info products in the game and basically did that, right? And when I mean study, I mean like I actually spent days and days and weeks being able to learn exactly how it works to be able to sell an info product if you want, or a coaching program or a course or whatever it is, right? I did all that. And then I also took all the knowledge I had from the marketing agency that I had as well. And from that, I decided to get my first client. I didn't even know what this term was to be able to help someone with that. I just thought about like I'm helping someone with his course, his coaching program, right? The first client that I helped, and this is a quick backstory on him specifically, was someone that was local for me, right? Who didn't have that much followers, to be completely honest with you. And from all that I learned from the marketing agency, stuff like that, again, it wasn't perfect. I really tried it and wasn't even sure if it was going to sell exactly. We made 23K in 20 days, right? In that specific offer, I did have a revenue share, but I'm going to be able to show you how you don't have to, right? So that was my very first experience. And you can understand that for me to be able to make that kind of money, I didn't keep all this myself and I did charge out from fee if you want, but I made a lot of money quickly from this one thing. And again, we didn't have much cost. We didn't do ads. We didn't do anything like that, which in my mind was crazy because I went from doing the marketing agency stuff where I was doing all the things I didn't like to this all of a sudden. My mind was blown, right? So basically, what I started doing from there, where I started consulting people now, because obviously I knew how to do it. I did it with one client. I knew how the process works. I kept, getting better and stuff like that. So after that client that I helped, I started to get more clients, right, by being able to show them exactly what I've done and stuff like that, right? So I started consulting them on how to be able to uh, build their coaching business from scratch, and basically now I have a bunch of clients. And when I say a bunch of clients, this is something that's known in the space as well. If anybody you guys know about growth operating stuff like that, is where you partner with people who have hundreds of thousands of followers, 10K, 20K, 50K followers, people to help them. The problem with that is, and don't get me wrong, I have clients and combined they have over 1.5 million followers, right? So I know how it is to be able to take ref shares and work with her and stuff like that. There's a few problems with that. The first one being that it's super, super hard to actually be able to sign them, especially if you're new and you're starting out. Being able to sign someone who has 300,000 followers is rare. Second of all, these creators, because they haven't launched it already, they're not really business minded. So it's very hard to be able to convince them to actually do all the work, even if you can do all the work. That's what I've seen with a lot of clients, right? So there's a few problems with that. And now mainly what I do with a bunch of clients is I basically just do consulting, basically just taking an upfront fee with them and be able to help them with the process without taking a rev share, right? So basically, what I do with these clients, right, I just show them the systems and how it works, all the knowledge that I have, right, it's put into a resource document and it's explain how exactly to do it. I show them the systems, like I said, offer structures and how to actually market the info product while they brought the expertise. That's basically all I did. I said, hey, you're really, really good at this. You can actually be able to turn it into something that makes you money. This is the exact framework on how it exactly works. I can help you out with that. So you can take the framework and I can also coach you if you want, then that, because I'm able to help for others and I know exactly how it works, right? And that's when I started doing that. Here were basically the results, right? Here's the 22K. Here's another wire from a client I got 4K and stuff like that. I can show you a bunch more. I showed you more as well at the beginning of the video, almost like 7K in a week and stuff like that as well, right? And this was the client as well, who had a nice car and stuff like that. So it allows you to make connections as well, right? And that's exactly what I call, again, info offer consulting. I like to call it that because that's exactly what you're doing, right? You're helping people with their info offers. You're consulting them the whole process, and not consulting like you should do this, you should do that. Like actually helping them one to one, right? So that leaves you with, you don't actually have to, spend a lot of time working for them or stuff like that, or building the whole thing out for them, right? So this is exactly how it works. I'm talking a bit much here, but here's exactly how it works, right? It's pretty simple. You basically find micro creators, like I said, or experts who have valuable skills in transformation, right? Who has typically less than 20K followers. Again, you can go for people who have a lot of followers, but it's just harder to land them. And if you outreach to someone who has 3,000 followers, most likely is that they've never been outreached to ever about this, right? So that is the huge advantage. That's exactly why I'm able to sign a bunch of these clients, because they've never been outreach to. So it makes the complete difference, right? So you find these people, right? And I'm going to be able to show you how to exactly find them. You consult them on how to package it into a high ticket coaching offer. You show them the possibilities. You show them exactly how it's possible to do. You can show examples of other people in them or their niche being able to do it and make a bunch of money, stuff like that, right? And a lot of people think, oh, I don't have anybody following me and stuff like that. I know people who have 600 followers on Instagram that are making 50K a month from ads or from different kind of systems, right? So that's something you have to get out of your client's mind if they do say that, right? So again, you give them the systems to needed to build and scale it. And now what's great about this kind of model as well is that, again, when you're working out with someone who has 2K followers, it doesn't mean they're going to be able to make a bunch of money, right? And you don't know that, so you don't want to take all the responsibility. So initially, what you want to do is consult them, take a high upfront fee. Maybe you're just starting out, it's less. You help them out the whole process, and if you see that there's someone who's is going to make a lot of money, or they're making a lot of money yet, you can offer them the rev share. That's what's great, is that you're not just starting out with someone with the rev share, and you don't even know if they're going to make money. So the money you're making is super dependent on them. What you're actually doing is taking a high upfront fee because you're going to help them for X amount of time. And if you can see they perform, and if you actually want to be able to help them out further, then you take the rev share to be able to make money. That's what I've done with my clients. I was working with someone who I didn't really see the potential at first, but still wanted to help them because that's what they needed. And I saw that obviously there was a lot of demand for it, stuff like that. And I was like, you know what, I'll just come in, I'll build out the actual systems for you instead of just showing you how it's done and helping you a bit. I'll build them out for you with the team and everything, and I'll take a rev share. This is exactly how it works, and it works, right? So that's the advantage of what we do, is that we're not just limited on the rev share. We can do both, right? Like I said, the best part with this is it's low complexity, especially consulting at start. Building everything for them. You're just giving the resources and showing how to do it because you know how to do it. It's high leverage. You stop trading time for money. And again, it's one of the most slept on business models in today's online space. The growth operating in IPGA is super promoted, but then again, it's a bit different to what we do. I'm able to, partner up with someone who has 1,000 followers who's really, really good at what they do. They never got outreach before, right? So it's super slim down. Nobody's outreaching to these people who are really good at what they do to be able to turn into a coaching offer and stuff like that, right? So that's the huge advantage. When I actually DM someone, I used to do DMs. I don't actually do DMs myself anymore, but when I used to do the outreach to someone, they're like, "Hey, I've actually been wanting to do this, and I don't know anybody who can, help me out with this." So that's imagine you're outreaching to someone; it's their first time getting a cold DM ever. Imagine that how powerful that can be, and of course they're going to be able to at least read the message and answer you. Maybe they're not interested, or maybe they're going to hear you out. And that's why you have to do a good job of pitching them. But overall, that's why it's the most slept on business model, right? And that's why I've been able to see success with it, right? So now that you know where the money is flowing, right, let's talk about how you can actually take advantage of this booming industry using info offer consulting as your vehicle, right? So step two is how to actually capitalize on this booming industry using a simple model, again, called info offer consulting, right? So before we dive into the how, there's actually two important concepts you actually need to understand, right? So these two ideas are, if you want, the foundation. So if you get them right, basically everything else after that becomes simple. So this is exactly what you have to understand, right? Where you are right now versus where you want to be. You actually need to get brutally, brutally honest about what's keeping you stuck and what path actually makes sense for you to hit those 10 to 20K months. Because I'll tell you right now, there's some business model where hitting 20K months profit without spending 10 hours a day working, eh, that doesn't exist, right? So if you're watching this, chances are you're one of these spots. Like I said, you're maybe running some kind of agency, you're burnt out dealing with clients, unable to scale. Maybe that's it. Maybe you have one or two clients. You don't actually see the potential of taking this to the next level. You've tried a multiple business model before. I was there before. I was the first one. It took me 3 years to be able to see any kind of success, but nothing has consistently worked. You're stuck maybe in a sales role that you don't like. You're a copywriter. I see way too many of those. Copywriter, freelancer, doing anywhere from, doing under, 3K a month. you're kind of tired of trading time for money, right? So if any of these sound like you, it's not a you problem necessarily, it's a vehicle problem. This is how you're going to be able to get the money you want, right? You're basically only in the wrong model, right? So what skills and knowledge you already have? So if you've at least made anywhere from 1K, 3K month online, you have maybe one client, maybe you've done a service for somebody, even just once, you already have skills that are extremely valuable to the right people. Things like offer strategy. Maybe it's sales, maybe it's funnels that you built out, maybe you're a web designer, maybe you've done ads for businesses, whatever it is. Maybe you have even none of those talents, right? But you just have an idea of how it works. Well, these are exactly the skills that these creators or experts that you're going to be able to help out with lack when trying to launch and scale their own coaching program, right? So they're basically looking out for someone who can help them out. And what's great about what we do is that you're not just an expert in funnels, let's say, you can do everything. So it's hard to find someone that can actually do everything for them and knows a bit about everything, right? That's why you're so rare. Um, so like I said, no, you don't need to sorry about that. So no, you don't need to start from scratch, right? You just need to reposition those skills, maybe stack one or two more, right? Or just learn it yourself like I've done myself and plug it into the right business model, right? Right? Demand already exists. And that's where exactly info offer consulting comes in, right? But before we dive deeper, you're probably wondering what makes info offer consulting different from all the other business models out there that you're constantly getting pitched, right? I've done a little graph here. You maybe seen this kind of graph before, and everybody's showing that their model is the best. But I do actually want to show you and explain what I think about this, right? Agency profit margins, they're medium. Scalability is low, hard. Startup capital is low. That's plus. Market saturation is medium. E-com profit margins are super low. That's not good. Scalability is low, but it's most likely more hard. Startup capital is high sometimes. Market saturation is high. Reselling medium. Anyways, right? I just want to show you that info offer consulting, the profit margins are super high, right? Again, there's no cost, and you can probably get like 90 to 95% profit margins, maybe to put software. The scalability is super high as well. You can stack clients pretty quickly, and then with rev share could go also high up really quickly. The startup capital is low. There's basically nothing to like spend on, right? So there's basically no things to get started on. And the market saturation is very low, and that's the biggest one here, right? So that's really the advantage that you specifically have, right? So now that you understand why info offer consulting stands out and how it fits your skills and goals, it's actually time for the final step, right? So the phase three is the proven roadmap to people to go from zero to those 10K, 20K months step by step using the untapped consulting model, right? This is basically my outreach system if you want, right? Because again, when you're starting out, you're gonna have to get outreach. That's any kind of business model, right? And I've done, if you're interested on my YouTube, a specific video on this, on how to be able to get clients, right? You're going to be able to find on my channel, but this is a portion of it, right? So what do you actually DM these creators to be able to, and these experts to be able to get a bunch of responses like I have like this, right? You want to offer something for free, right? This can be a video presentation. You basically want to show them, the main goal with this is to be able to show them that the opportunity of their skill, how much money they can be making with them. You're not offering them to help them with something. You're saying to them, hey, you know the skills that you have, uh, you're actually in a position to make this kind of money if you do things correctly, right? So you're pitching them the idea of being able to make a lot of money with their skill, mainly, not even to work with you, right? Maybe a bit at the end, but mainly about the opportunity, right? People are going to get interested. And they're going to be like, how does it actually work? That's exactly where you come in to help them, right? Offering a call straight away can be pushy, and unfortunately, there's too much people now that it could be a bit weird, especially if someone has like K followers and so many DMs. You're gonna be like, why does this person DM me, right? So just say like, I just want to be able to share you a free video that I made for you, how you can be able to turn that thing that you're really good at into something that makes money. I know a lot of people are doing it. Just want to be able to send that over, right? And you want to make sure that that video is clear, explains it, and is really done in a good way, right? There's a few things that, like I said, I went over this in the other video. The things of when in DMs, don't send super long messages. That's never going to work out. It's really weird. Or sounding like a bot, where you just see like, "Hey, I came across your profile," or "Hey, I love your content." "Hey, I would love to share an idea." Like that's just weird. Just be super honest with the person. Like, "Hey, just came across, not just came across, but like, hey, just saw your page, whatever," and just pitch or just directly go to the pitch as well, right? Um, so that's basically that. And then after for the DMs, this is basically how the framework works, right? You show them the asset with the CTA, you offer them the call to be able to just explain how it works, and then you close them up front for 2 to 4K. Now, again, to be able to close someone for 4K is going to be harder when you're a beginner. So I would just go with less and then maybe do rev share later, stuff like that, right? But you have to adjust your prices accordingly to a bit of your experience as well. But let's say if you're already in sales, then you're good at the selling, you can sell for more, etc. So there's things to go around, right? So again, I've kind of showed you and laid out basically what I do, why I do it, how it makes me money, stuff like that, right? And a bit of my outreach system. So I have more content on my YouTube on exactly how to get started and how it works and stuff like that. But if you, after watching this video, you think it actually makes sense for you, maybe you're trying business models, like I said, it's not working out, you're wondering what's the next big thing, stuff like that. I am actually helping a few guys one-to-one. And again, you'll see on my Instagram, you'll see on my YouTube. I don't make my money with doing these one-to-ones. Again, I do it with actually signing these clients, as you can see with the Stripe and everything like that, signing clients for 4K, 5K, right? But again, I do want to be able to help a few guys out because I know I was exactly in the position that you guys most likely were. So I do want to be able to help a few guys put in the right model, put in the right vehicle as well, right? So again, I'm doing this. It's really just one-on-one. Helping a few guys out, signing for your first 5 clients and getting to 10K a month in less than 90 days, right? So if that's any of interest, you want more info, you're wondering how it works, right? Just simply send me YouTube to my IGDMs. It's going to be below, or you can also just directly book a call. It's going to be the first link in below this video, and I'm going to be able to show you exactly how to get started. Now, if you're coming to me and you're not serious, you're not want to actually learn it, you don't want to actually put in the effort, just don't even bother, right? Because that's exactly what you need. It's not easy to do this. There's some kind of work, but again, anybody can do this if you're actually able to put in the work and you want to learn how it works and you want to get to the industry. Again, that's why I wanted to do. I knew that when I looked at this, I saw the profit margins, I saw the whole business model, I saw everybody else making money with it. I was like, I have to find a way to be able to get in this industry, right? Because it's super, super profitable, etc. So if that's you, again, just go to my DMs on Instagram. Just send me YouTube, and I'll be able to get started. We'll maybe have a call, and I'll be able to explain everything. Is that good with you? So I'll see you in the next video.